What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are going to talk to Elijah Smith, who has a fight signed for March. He's going to be at the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the same card as Amanda Lemos and Jillian Robertson. Loney Kavanaugh, Bruno Silva, Brad Tavares, Eric Anders. They're putting a good one together there. His opponent that night will be SuYoung You. Welcome to Junkie Radio, Elijah. Man, we're off to a good start. You were digging the jersey.
Yeah,
Turns out you're a Niners fan too.
yeah. I saw the 9-7. I was like, man, that color looks a little familiar. I'm like, it's got to be a Niners. And sure enough, I was right, man. Like I said, I've been a Niners fan since I got into football like heavy into the NFL 2013 or 2012 really. So like Alex Smith, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman,
Oh, look at
um,
you.
yeah, and then you had guys like Justin Smith, like that defense back then, like it was just like it made me a fan, like just to see them and just go out and just boom, just put it on somebody, with big hits, and that's what really made me a fan. And of course they were winning, so I don't know, something about the Broncos because I'm from Colorado, just the Broncos never really felt in my, there was never a place for them in my heart.
Because you're too young to really ride the wave,
Yeah,
right? With Terrell
yeah,
Davis and Shannon Sharp and them. You probably didn't
yeah.
catch them.
Yeah, but I went back. I mean, now that because I watched a lot of Shannon Sharp's uh I watch his podcast, his nightcap shows. I watched a lot of Shannon Sharp, and
Yeah.
it just made me one day. I went down a whole like timeline of just watching his highlights, and I was like, damn, these guys were actually good. They were really good.
hmm
I mean, to be what they won
They went back
three
to
Super
back.
Bowl. Yeah, back to back. That's crazy. Yeah.
He's won
I'm like,
three, but the Broncos won two when he was with them.
yeah, yeah.
Now they came back later on and they won one with Peyton Manning, but that other
Yeah,
era had
in
ended already.
2018, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Cool. Did you play ball growing up?
Yeah, I did. I played a lot of ball. That was actually gonna be before I thought about fighting, I wanted to go out of college and play college ball. Yeah.
Okay. What position did you play?
I played almost about everything, but my main position was running back, and then on defense was outside line. We call it like a hybrid, so it's like a safety, but outside
hmm
linebacker. Because I love tackling. I love just going out there and just hitting somebody. Like I'm trying to, if I can take you out the game, I'm trying to. I'm that guy. But one of these days, man, I swear I have to grab all my film and one of these days just post it out and just be like, see guys, I could have been somewhere different, okay?
Were you
But
pretty good? Like, did you
yeah,
have any
I was
scholarship offers?
I didn't have any scholarship offers, so I was gonna go to JUCO route because I went to a small school, and the school that I went to, we were losing a lot. So you're losing. They fly right over you, especially me. I was undersized, so I'm 5'9", 100 and 55 pounds. They're not looking for a guy like me. You have to be like somebody crazy, and so that's why I was gonna go the JUCO route and try to find my way through there. But that's when COVID hit, so that never panned out. But I always say with MMA fighters, you know what they say with MMA fighters?
Yeah. I
At
think
some
MMA
the
athletes aren't that good at other sports, so you're the exception, to tell you the
well,
truth.
well, not quite, not that, but it's the reason why a lot of MMA fighters get into MMA is because at some point in time they failed in whatever they were doing before.
Okay, that's fair. But let
So
me
you,
back up my point. At Extreme Couture here in Las Vegas, I've seen the guys throw the ball around a little bit, and it doesn't look that good, man. And, maybe one or two guys might stand out. Someone might have a nice set of hands, or
yeah,
someone might have a nice arm, but for the most part,
like
it
for
just
me,
looks like, like
yeah, like
it almost looks like somebody's babysitting a bunch of adults.
yeah, that's typically what it looks like, and I think it really comes down to like unless you played the sport of football, the footwork is a little bit different. And a lot of people, and same with the hand-eye coordination. You got to
Correct.
have hand-eye coordination in football and in MMA or boxing, whatever combat sport but it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, even with the footwork, because with my footwork, I'm looking to get open, so I'm trying to create space. Whereas in MMA, I'm trying to create angles, and I'm either, I'm not, doing the icky shuffle or whatnot, trying to get open.
The Icky Shuffle. That's a nice pull, man, from like 25, 30 years ago. That's cool. I
Hey,
like that.
but you'll be surprised how many, because we do the speed ladder. I mean, I grew up on the speed ladder, so you'll
Yeah.
be surprised. You pull out that speed ladder, how many people don't know how to do the icky shuffle, and that goes down to MMA fighters. Even at the highest level, at the UFC, you like, damn. You fighting in the UFC, you don't know how to do the icky shuffle. You're supposed to be, this world class athlete, but it'll surprise you. It definitely surprise you.
So Goz and I have gone on military trips, and every Army base, Air Force base has a basketball court. And oh man, I don't think we found one good MMA fighter yet on the basketball court for sure. I smoke them all in
Yeah.
ping pong.
I mean, you
We
seen. I
played.
mean, you seen. Hey, have you seen? I know you guys saw John Jones try to
Oh,
dunk.
he
Mhm.
was
Yeah. Oh.
awful. He couldn't.
Oh
He
man,
couldn't dunk.
he couldn't dunk. You're like, yo, you're 6'4", and you
I
telling me you
know.
can't dunk? It looked like he couldn't even grab the rim. I'm like, damn. But I tell you what, I bet you. But his brothers, though, I'll tell you what, his brothers, I bet you that they can dunk. They can go out there and run a 4.8 40 at 300, something pounds. But it's just, they get into that cage, and John Jones will have his way with them.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy.
Um, Forrest Griffin, I believe, can dunk, and so can Roy Nelson. But I don't know if you'll remember the second name. But both of them fought
Who?
kind of like in the early part of the 2000s.
Oh, you talking about Roy Nelson, Big Country? You don't think I
Yeah,
know Big Country?
big country can
Oh
dunk,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so can Forrest Griffin from the UFC. You know, he was a former champ and all that. See, a lot of
yeah,
people just started following the sport at the Conor McGregor era. So some people were like, I didn't
yeah.
even
No,
know Forrest
no,
Griffin fought and was
yeah, no,
a
not
champion already.
no, not this young cat. Listen, Forrest Griffin. I mean, Forrest Griffin. He's still at the PI, and he's still. I mean, when you go to the Performance Institute, they have a bunch of. I feel like there's TVs and they show highlights. I feel like 9 times out of 10, he's he's always gonna be the one that's on the TV every
Yeah.
single time.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
but
goes.
Forrest Griffin kind of surprises me. Damn, that does surprise me though.
Yeah, he can play ball. Did you know he was a cop in Atlanta, in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, before he became an MMA fighter?
I did know that. I did know that.
Yeah. Oh, he's an interesting cat for sure. All right, let's see if Goz has some MMA questions for you, or do you want to stay on the football theme, Goz? This is more interesting, I think, finding out that Elijah was a baller back in the day.
Man, I'm telling
Actually,
you, I gotta grab. Watch. One of these days, I'm gonna grab my highlights and I'm gonna post them. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I wasn't just, I'm not just, this cat is like, yo, I used to play ball in high school. I used to be. I'm not BSing with y'all. I was decent. I'm not gonna say
I believe you.
I was the greatest, but I listen. I was that man. I was that man.
But you said you played on some sorry teams?
Yeah, my high school, we just. It's one of those things. That's why I like MMA/wrestling too. You don't have to depend on, your lineman blocking. You don't have to depend on your quarterback throwing you the ball or your wide receiver catching. It's for me. I'm like, man, just hand me the ball and I'll make magic.
Is it true
But
that when the other teams got their schedule, instead of your high school, it said bye?
it might as well. I've had a bunch of my friends because I played a bunch of all of my other friends and I would ask them. I was like, what was y'all scouting report looking like? They were like, the only thing that we ever did was just we would have to locate where number 2 was, and that was my number. And then
Oh,
they were like,
Oh,
yeah, and they were like, other than that, that was it. They were like, if we stopped you, we knew that was gonna be ball game.
is it true the punter was the only All-American on the team?
Shit, he couldn't even beat the punter. Damn, we didn't even punt. Listen, we went on all 4 downs. Okay, we didn't have a punter.
man.
We went on all we had while everybody thought they had 3 plays and then they punt. No, we had all 4 plays. We're gonna use all 4.
You guys went for it on 4th and 10?
Shit, hell yeah. Hell yeah, we would make some magic.
Well, Elijah, I'm going to try and bridge the gap between MMA and football, and I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to ask you for a favor.
Yes.
I think your next KO, submission, any type of finish, if you icky shuffle after,
Ooh,
that might be
good.
pretty dope.
Oh yeah, I could do that. I could bust that out.
Yeah?
Yeah, hell yeah. I could do the icky shit. I'd do a front going forward and going backwards. That's another
Nice.
thing. A lot of people they know how to. Some people know how to do the icky shuffle going forward, but can you do it backwards? No. See,
Mhm.
that's
All
when they
right.
start. That's when they start looking like they have two left feet.
Hey, Elijah, I promise you, we've never done this. And we've done this show for almost 19 years, 3,600 episodes. We've never asked a fighter for a favor or a shout out or nothing. I promise you.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you do that icky shuffle, if Bisping or Sanko or one of those goes, what the hell was that? Let's say you got to say those are for the boys at MMA Junkie Radio. We were
I
talking
got you.
football or whatever. Um, let's see if you remember. Let's see if you'll do it. If you don't, my heart won't be broken. But if you do that, I think that'd be pretty cool.
No, I'm
Be
telling you,
dope.
I will do that 100%. Like I won't forget that.
Maybe after the Icky Shuffle, the next one you do the Dirty Bird. There's a lot of things you can
Oh,
Yeah,
do
the
now.
Dirty Bird is
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
there's quite a few. But okay, so let me ask you: your opponent has a nice streak coming in. You have a nice one as well. When you compare them, what do you think of his road to where you guys are at now versus yours?
I don't want to compare. I would like to say he had a tough road just as I did. Um, the only difference is that I just don't think he's ever fought anybody like me. Some a young athletic cat that can stand on the feet and has really good wrestling and grappling. I think the guys that he's fought, they're only one-sided. Like they weren't good at both, and and the speed difference. I think the speed difference is really was gonna be the big difference maker. It's like, damn, I can't find this cat, and he's tagging me up. But I mean, I looked at his record, and I see the guys that he fought. He didn't fight any bums. I don't think. I would say that he fought some high level guys, on the road to UFC, and yeah. But I mean, there's not too much I can. He's easy to read. He's not somebody that I know what he's gonna do. He's not somebody that's like, damn, I don't know, he might do this. No, he's gonna go out there. He's gonna try to take me down. He's gonna try to smother me, try to grind me out, and be a wet blanket. But I feel like I've shown that time and time again that I'm just not gonna surrender being taken down. Like if you take me down, I'm getting back up. I always go into a fight when I'm fighting a wrestler. I always think like, okay, he's gonna get at least one takedown. If he's that good of a wrestler, he's gonna get at least one. But it's gonna be up to me. Can I get back up to my feet? So a lot of guys they always game plan when they go against a wrestler. Oh, I'm gonna stop all his takedowns. Yeah, in a perfect world that might be cool, but you just have to put it in a scenario like in a fight. When you get tired and stuff, like you gotta believe this guy's gonna get one. He's gonna get a takedown at some point in time. So instead of drilling, I mean, keep drilling takedown defense, but you also got to work getting off your back as well, if that makes sense.
You kind of bridged into my next question, and that was going to be like, do you feel like if this were to go 3 rounds, because he tends to go 3 rounds, you don't. You're aggressive, but it's a smart aggression. But should it go into the later rounds, do you feel like every round might be a little different, of a show because of the possibility of he may actually get a takedown? What do you see when you think about this fight?
I think as the fight goes into the later rounds, I think that plays more into my favor. And I think that's something that a lot of people they tend to bring up the contender series and how I gassed out in the last round, um, which I'm like, cool, that's fine. But I've also seen him where he wrestled and he comes out, he tries to wrestle hard, and a lot of the times he's not getting these takedowns, so he tends to go away from the wrestling because it takes energy to take people down too. It's not a one-sided thing. So I do see him slowing down, and that's when I start picking up the pace in the later rounds, if it even gets that far.
What's one thing that you promised yourself for 2026, and what's one thing that you would promise to the fans in 2026?
I promised myself that no matter what, I'm always gonna hold my head high, and I'm gonna give it my all. And I say that to myself when I prepare for any fight, when I go into any fight, is like, Elijah, you've done everything that you can possibly do. I've never gone to a fight and thought like, damn, I should have did a little bit more in my fight camp. I should have did this. I never go without any doubts or of thinking like I could have done more, because I always believe I've done the max. I've done everything that I feel like I can possibly do to be successful in the fight. So that was my promise to myself, is to continue on doing what, just becoming a better fighter, not just a better fighter, a better human, better fiance, better father, all that stuff. Now the other thing that I promise, that I'm gonna promise to the fight fans going into 2026, is that every fight that I fight, that's gonna be one that you don't want to miss. I feel like a lot of people, they slept on the fight night card where I fought Toshiyami Kazama, and a lot of people missed out on that fight of the slam KO, because they just didn't, they just thought it was a regular fight night fight. So I could only imagine that going into this fight, that a lot more people are going to tune into my fight now, knowing what I've done in the past.
Do you already know what or who you want next? And have you thought about that post-fight speech at all?
No, I typically don't think about who I want to fight next. I just let it come naturally. I just want to make sure I'm getting booked. I mean, after my last fight was in August, so I was hoping to get booked, you know, before the end of the year. I'm like, the fight finished in the first round. I literally did. You could check the stats. I didn't take any strikes. Um, I just dominated from from the start of the fight. So I came out there with no injuries. I was like, man, I'm hoping that I can get in another time before the end of the year. So, I just want to stay active if the UFC allows me to stay active. And I know a lot of fight fans, they want to see me fight more often. Listen, for everybody that's been asking me why I'm not fighting as often, trust me, that's not on me. That's not on me. I've been telling everybody I've been healthy. I've been ready to go since my last fight. That's something that, the UFC, they got a bunch of fighters on the roster, so they got to try to make time for everybody. So, but yeah, that's that. But again, going back to your first question, I want the fight fans to really understand that when they watch Elijah Smith, you don't want to go out and go use the bathroom. You might want to stay and watch.
George Freeze?
Don't get fed.
Oh,
Sometimes it's nice to get. Am I there or no?
you kind of froze for a
Can you
second,
guys hear
but
me?
now, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, closed mouths don't get fed. Sometimes it really is nice for you to have a outline of what you want next. Even if you're not a trash talker and you don't want to call it a name, maybe you say, "Hey, I know the UFC's headed to
I mean,
Vegas or
don't get me
Atlanta
wrong.
or this place or that place." You know what I mean? Because
Don't get me
that's what
wrong.
kind of gets the ball rolling a little bit.
I've made my call outs before. Like I said I wanted to fight Raul. I said I wanted to fight like Peyton Talbot, and then they gave me Toshiyami Kazama. So I was like, okay. I didn't even know this guy was even on the roster. So I was like, all right, well, cool. But also it comes down to making the right call out for the right amount of money. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna make a call out for a lot of
Okay.
people. They're like, I want to see you fight a top 10, top 15 guy. I'm like, what? On this first contract? No, no, you're tripping. I'm gonna need a little bit more money if the danger, if the risk goes up. The money has to make sense as well. So I'm not gonna fight a guy who's ranked in the top, in the top 15, and let's give out a number. Let's say he's probably making uh probably 90 and 90, right? I'm like, damn, I go out there and it's like I go out there and I beat him, and all I got was 24K to for
Mhm.
show and win. You're like, whoa, he lost and he still came up more than me. So that's another thing. So after this fight, I'm hoping that we get to sit down because this will be my third fight on my contract. I have one more fight left on this first contract, so I want to go out there, uh, get a finish, and hopefully we can renegotiate the contract and get more checks, get more zeros added onto that contract.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for jumping on the show with us today. It was nice to talk to you a little bit about football, a little bit about MMA. So we greatly appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with the jokes about your high school football team.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on now.
yeah, you
I'm
have a
not.
good
I'm
sense
not.
of humor.
Listen, I'm not. A lot of people nowadays, I feel like they're too, they're too soft, man. Like they can't. A lot of people can't take a joke. I'm like, man, like it ain't that serious. Like, we all laugh, we all live, and I find it funny because I like. Listen, if you knew me, if you, anybody that knows me, they know I like to crack jokes, and I don't care how deep it gets. Like I love to crack jokes, whether if it's right
I
or
did want
wrong.
to look up. I did want to look up the football team, so I went to your website. But did you know it doesn't exist? It says it
What
can't put the
football team?
website together
Uh,
because you can't put
yeah.
three W's together.
It's a goddamn. And I tell you what, you are not wrong. But I always told everybody when I go out there on the football field, at least, and this is something I say when I go out and fight. Whether and listen, I could be on a shit team, I could be a bad fighter, but I tell you what, by the end of the football game or by the end of the fight, you're gonna be like, damn, I don't know who that Elijah Smith guy was, but damn, he was a baller. Or damn, that guy he'll fight his ass off though. He won't quit. Like I tell my wrestlers because I also coach wrestling at my old high school, and I tell my wrestlers, guys, you got to make it to where you make yourself memorable. Whether if you go out there and win or lose, make them remember you. Whether if you go out like, damn, you go out there and you wrestle a state champion. Damn, I don't know who that guy was from Sierra, but damn, he gave me my toughest match.
Hmm. Good
That's how I
advice.
want to be remembered. If we're gonna lose, you're gonna have to kill me. So I want you to you're gonna have to give it your all if you want to beat me.
Good stuff, man. All right. Well, thank you. Hopefully, we'll see you when you're down here in Vegas. That's where we stay at here in Sin City.
Oh yeah, I'll
You're
be out
at
there in Vegas.
the Apex.
Yes sir. Yeah, I'll be out there in Vegas
Okay.
actually from the 24th to the
All right. We'll
31st.
see.
So yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right, man.
All right. We'll see
All
you soon,
right,
then, man. Thanks for the
I
time.
appreciate it. Thank you.